Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about unfortunate love was how Ahana goes to the court to tell Rishi the truth about Lakshmi's pregnancy, and the divorce of Rishi and Lakshmi couldn't happen because of the truth that came out. So let's continue from there. Balvinda wears masks and he tries to enter the Obrey's mansion. He sees the guests in the hall and he thinks that they are rich and they have party always. He sees Ayush and Grandma coming from the opposite side and he gets tensed and he wondered what to do. Balvinda sees Grandma and Ayush coming from the opposite direction. He hid. Ayush sees Grandma and says, "I was missing you." Grandma asks Ayush to search for a girl for himself, else he will be a bachelor for the rest of his life. Ayush asks Grandma to search for a nice girl for him. Grandma asks if I don't have any work and she goes. Ayush asks that, "Are you not my grandma?" Balvinda hears them. Lakshmi thanked God for handling the situation and for saving Ahana's engagement. She then thanked God and says if Ahana had not come to the court, then how would I have saved Rishi from his bad luck? Rishi comes to Lakshmi and calls her name. Lakshmi asks Rishi to talk. Rishi says, "I want to." Lakshmi asks, "Are you fine?" Rishi says, "I just wanted to say something." Ayush comes to Rishi and Lakshmi's room and he asks Lakshmi that why did she come back to their house. He asks Rishi not to fall into Lakshmi's trap again and he should always remember that Lakshmi betrayed us. Rishi asks Ayush to go and give him 5 minutes. Ayush says he cannot leave Rishi with Lakshmi even for a minute. Rishi asks Ayush to go and he asks Lakshmi if she is fine. Lakshmi says, "I am fine because I had the buttermilk." She says it works wonder for her and it relieves the acidity. Rishi says, "I am talking about you and not about buttermilk." He says, "You are understanding me well, so don't make jalebis." Lakshmi says, "No, I am not making jalebis." Malishka comes there and asks Lakshmi that what did you say in court that made you to be here today as well. Lakshmi says the truth and says she said the truth. She says the truth is like a sun rays which cannot be hidden and it comes out. Malishka says hear one more truth and she tells her that Rishi and she would unite amidst her conspiracies. Malishka asks Rishi to come. Rishi says I am with Lakshmi and I want to talk to her. Malishka says Lakshmi is no more in your life and she asks him to come. She takes Rishi away from the kitchen to his room. Rishi asks Malishka to leave his hand. He asks why did she bring him here as Ahana's engagement is happening downstairs. Malishka asks Rishi that what happened to you. Rishi says I should ask you in front of everyone that what is wrong with you. Malishka says I brought you here in front of Lakshmi. She asks did you see your way? She says you were talking to that characterless girl Lakshmi. Rishi shouted at Malishka that enough and he asked her not to talk to him in this tone and also in this language. Malishka owed Rishi's hand and says I should lower my tone and says you are saying this for that girl who cheated with you, although she stayed in your room. She says who am I to you? And Rishi kept quiet. Malishka says to Rishi that I am here for you and you have changed for that cheap girl who has ruined your family's respect. Rishi shouted that enough and says I am not a small kid to fall into anyone's trap. He says Lakshmi haven't ruined my family's respect, but instead she saved my family. Malishka asks Rishi if Lakshmi saved his respect by getting pregnant with the driver's baby. Rishi says Lakshmi is not pregnant, but Ahana is pregnant. He says Lakshmi haven't lied about anything and we only misunderstood her and we should all apologize to her. Bani massages Rano's feet. Rano praises her and insults Lakshmi. Bani massages her feet tightly. Rano asks her to do sit-ups. Bani asks Neha to massage Rano's feet. Neha refuses. Bani massages her feet again. Rano thinks about Balvinda's sayings and she scolds Neha. Malishka asks Rishi that who said that Lakshmi is not pregnant. Is it that Lakshmi that said that? She says Lakshmi is pregnant and you are falling into her trap. Rishi says Lakshmi is not pregnant, but Ahana is pregnant. Malishka says Ahana is not pregnant. Rishi says Ahana told me this in front of the judge, so Ahana is pregnant. Rishi says to Malishka that now, Lakshmi will stay with us in this house for 2 more months and says I don't understand who told Balvinda about Lakshmi's pregnancy. He says someone told him about this and he came here to claim over the baby. He says someone from our family is giving Balvinda information and I will find out who. Rishi says to Malishka that you know me very well and then also you are saying this. He says I am still Lakshmi's husband and I feel guilty for whatever Lakshmi heard from everyone. He asks Malishka not to utter any word against Lakshmi from now onward and says if you don't understand, then I don't know what to tell you. Malishka thinks that Lakshmi always wins, and she thinks that if Balvinda comes here and tells everyone about me, then I'll be out and Lakshmi will be here. So she thinks to stop Balvinda and give him more money to make him keep quiet. Neelam talks to Anjana. Anjana tells her that they just want Ahana. Ahana asks Gautam to talk to his parents about her pregnancy. Anjana apologized to Lakshmi for all the wrong sayings. Lakshmi says, "Don't apologize to me. You are my elder." She says, "You are like mommy to me." Anjana says to Lakshmi that I don't know what is your truth, but whenever I meet you, I feel peace at heart and I don't feel that you do anything wrong with anyone. Lakshmi asks Anjana to bless her. Anjana says, "My blessings are with you." Grandma gets excited seeing the rasgulla and she asks Lakshmi to give her 8 to 10. Everyone refused to let Grandma eat the rasgulla, but Grandma takes the rasgulla by herself and she mistakenly drops it on Gautam's clothes. Ahana says she would go and get Gautam's clothes clean. Karishma teases them and she asks them to go, so Ahana and Gautam leave. The light in the house went off. Lakshmi thinks that why has the light gone? The inverter should have started by now. She says the engagement will start. Rishi comes there holding the candle. Lakshmi asks, "Did you switch off the light?" and says, "You know that today is Ahana's engagement." Rishi says, "No, I did not switch off the light. It is good that the light went off because I can speak to you now." Lakshmi asks Rishi that what do you want to say? Rishi says sorry. Lakshmi says it is not needed. Rishi says it is a small word and he thanks Lakshmi for doing so much for Ahana and for his family. Lakshmi says if you were in my place, then you would have done the same thing. Rishi asks that with what mode are you made? Gautam asks Ahana to understand. He says that he couldn't get a chance to tell his parents about her pregnancy. Ahana says she cannot hide her past. She says, "You told me about your past and I accepted it." She says she doesn't want to hide anything from his parents and says if anyone comes to know the truth later, then what are we going to do? Anjana hears them and she is shocked. Rishi asks Lakshmi that what if the truth haven't come out, then what would have happened? Lakshmi says that even if the divorce did not happen now, it will still happen after 2 months. Rishi feels guilty and says, "My family were scolding you and you were silent." He says, "Your eyes were looking at me when Balvinda was dragging you." He says, "Your eyes were telling me that Balvinda's claim was wrong and I couldn't stop him." Rishi says to Lakshmi that I broke your trust and says I really felt that some truth is hidden and the sound came from your heart, that Lakshmi cannot do this. Lakshmi says then also you did not hear your heart sound. Rishi says I can feel it, what you were feeling. He says I care for you, in fact even till now. He says I think due to my ego and my family reaction, I thought it is your fault, but I think that I should have spoken to you and asked you once when everyone were taunting you. Ahana tells Gautam that everyone loves and trusts her and she asks him if she should hide the truth. She says I was in a relationship with some guy. She asks him to go and tell them. Gautam says no. Ahana says this truth will be with me always as I am pregnant with that guy's baby and I have decided to keep this baby. She asks if Gautam thinks that they would accept her baby as they stay in London. Gautam says I cannot lose you, Ahana. And Jana comes inside the room hearing them. They both look at her. Lakshmi asks Rishi to forget it and she asks him not to feel bad. Rishi asks if Lakshmi can forget it. Lakshmi says it is very difficult to forget the word attacks. She says when everyone were taunting me, they did not know the truth. Rishi says I am talking about myself. He says I don't know if we will be together in the future or not, but I want to apologize to you. Rishi says to Lakshmi that you did not say anything when everyone were scolding you. Lakshmi says whatever I did is for Ahana. She is like my sister. She says even if I don't know about the future, she says we should talk later and she goes out. She says she will bring something. Rishi asks if Lakshmi is fine. Lakshmi says I was not fine before. She stops Rishi and signals at his hair. Rishi signals to Lakshmi to set his hair. Lakshmi sets his hair with her hand. A song plays in the background. Rishi says you stopped me for this. Lakshmi says you said sorry, but I didn't say thank you. She thanks Rishi for supporting her when Balvinda came and when everyone were against her. Rishi says that is why I could stand in front of you and I can apologize to you. He thanks God for making everything fine and he goes. Lakshmi thinks of Rishi taking a stand for her respect in front of Anjana. She smiles. Balvinda jumps inside the kitchen. Lakshmi hears the sound and checks. Balvinda owed Lakshmi and the utensils falls on the ground. Rishi hears the sound and looks back. Rishi hears Lakshmi's voice. Balvinda catches Lakshmi and keeps his hand on her mouth. Rishi thinks that Lakshmi might be working and he thinks to go and check. Neelam calls Rishi and asks him to call the electricity department and also to get the inverter repair. Rishi says I will call them. He comes to the kitchen and thinks that Lakshmi's voice came from here. Balvinda is taking Lakshmi outside forcefully. Rishi finds Lakshmi's slippers there and gets worried. Malishka calls Balvinda, but he is not picking the call. Malishka thinks if Balvinda has switched off the light. She thinks that if Rishi catches him, then Balvinda will say the truth and Rishi will not like to hear my name and he will leave the marriage. She says then Lakshmi will get Rishi back and Lakshmi's destiny will support her like always. She says I will not let this happen. Rishi calls Lakshmi. Neelam says why has the light not come till now? Karishma says what happened to the inverter? Neelam says today is bad. She says Ahana left the engagement and then Rishi and Lakshmi's marriage divorce couldn't be done. Karishma says Lakshmi is pregnant with Balvinda's child. Then why was the divorce couldn't happen? Neelam says to Karishma that Lakshmi would have pretended and convinced the judge that she is innocent. Karishma says yes. What did Lakshmi do to convince the judge? Neelam says the judge is partial, being a woman. Virendra says don't talk about this and let this engagement happen. Karishma says my brother is right. We should think about what to do about Lakshmi after the engagement. Neelam sees Malishka and she asks that why is she sweating. Malishka says she is upset with Rishi's behavior. Neelam blames Lakshmi and asks Malishka to calm down. Balvinda takes Lakshmi outside forcefully. Rishi comes out and eats Balvinda with a stick. Balvinda attacks Rishi. Rishi eats him and he tries to move the marks from his face. Balvinda eats Rishi. He attacks Rishi with the knife. Rishi stops him and eats him. He tries to make his face reveal. Balvinda tries to get the knife and he thinks that Rishi loves Lakshmi more than me. He is helping her even after the divorce. Lakshmi stops Rishi thinking about the priest's words. Balvinda runs and thinks to take revenge from Rishi and says Lakshmi belongs to him. Rishi couldn't catch Balvinda and he couldn't see his face and he says I will catch him. How dare him to touch you? Lakshmi says he will not go behind him. He is having knife in his hand. She asks Rishi not to go. Rishi says okay. Lakshmi says maybe he is a thief and he came inside thinking that it is a marriage house. Rishi says we will see the CCTV footage and catch him. Rishi asks Lakshmi that why did you come out with him? Lakshmi says he held me and I threw the frying pan. Rishi says I heard the frying pan sound and I came to see you. He asks Lakshmi to take care and says he will not be there to take care of her always. Lakshmi says you are there to take care of me. Rishi says he heard it because she said it loudly. Lakshmi says to Rishi that she is not wearing slippers and she will go inside. She sleeps. Rishi sees blood on the ground and asks her to sit. Lakshmi sits on the bench. Rishi asks her to show him her foot. Lakshmi asks him not to touch her foot. Rishi insists to see it and he keeps her foot on his knee. Lakshmi thinks that don't care for me so much. How will I handle myself? There are so many memories already. Rishi cleans Lakshmi's injury. Lakshmi thinks that she doesn't want to end their marriage and she doesn't want to go away from Rishi and she wants to end the distance between them. Rishi looks at Lakshmi. He says, you make me do so much hard work. Lakshmi asks why. Rishi says, you see me and think and you do this all the time, and he asks her to say what she is thinking about. Lakshmi asks if Rishi did not know what she is thinking about all the time. Rishi says you might be thinking that you are accident prone when you are with me. He says let's go inside. I will apply ointment. He owed Lakshmi's hand and asked her to come. Neelam asks the guards why the light went off and why is the inverter not working. The guard says that the inverter switch was off. Virendra asks Neelam not to shout at the guards and says I know that you are tensed about Ahana's engagement. Everyone sees Lakshmi and Rishi about to come inside holding hands. Neelam asks Lakshmi to stop and says he will not come inside. Rishi goes inside and he tries to talk to Neelam. Neelam says enough and you will not say a word. Neelam says to Lakshmi that everything was happening good, but everything became inauspicious because of you. She says this girl's presence is inauspicious and says if Lakshmi wants to come inside, then she should come after Ahana's engagement. Anjana comes there with Gautam and says the engagement is not happening. Neelam asks that what do you mean? Karishma says that the auspicious time is still there. Anjana asks them to ask Ahana. and says nothing is left for the engagement. Karishma asks Ahana to talk. Neelam turns to Rishi and says everything is getting ruined due to Lakshmi. Anjana says no and says that whatever blame Lakshmi took on her head was because of Ahana. Anjana tells everyone that Ahana is pregnant. Neelam, Ayush, Virendra, Grandma and Karishma get shocked. Anjana says Ahana is pregnant with her ex-lover and the limit is she wants to keep the baby. Neelam says we will not bear it if you accuse our daughter fakely. Anjana says you are accusing Lakshmi fakely, but Lakshmi took the blame on herself because she feels pity on Ahana. Malishka looks on because she knows the truth already, but she did not tell anyone. Anjana asks them to ask Ahana. Karishma asks Ahana that what is this? Neelam says Anjana is having a misunderstanding and I am sure that Lakshmi would have done something. Rishi says this is the truth and says Lakshmi is not pregnant, but Ahana is pregnant. Ayush shouted and says my sister is not pregnant. Lakshmi is pregnant. Sonia says this cannot happen. Ahana cries. Ayush says Ahana is saving Lakshmi. He shouted at Lakshmi to tell everyone that she is pregnant and not Ahana. Ayush owed Ahana's hand and asked her to come. Lakshmi is still standing outside. Malishka thinks that her plan is ruined because the truth came out in front of the family. Virendra says we all saw Lakshmi's pregnancy report. Sonia asks Ahana that why are you supporting Lakshmi? Ahana shouted and says I am not saving Lakshmi, but Lakshmi has saved me, and everyone is shocked to hear that. Ahana goes to Virendra and shows the real report to him. She says Lakshmi got her name written on my pregnancy report to save me, and she took all the blame on herself. She says I should have told you all before now. She says Lakshmi supported me to keep this baby. Rishi asks Ahana, and Jana asks Gautam to come. Gautam asks his mom to listen to him, but his mom dragged him out and they walk out of the house and Lakshmi looks on. Okay guys, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to check the comment section for the link to the next update once it is available. I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.